Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Noelle, and today I have several videos coming for you. So if you see the same shirt, it's because I did a couple of videos in one. So that's just the first thing. And this video will be about my labor and delivery story. I'm so excited to do this, and I hope y'all are excited just as much as I am and watch it. And this was a hard video to do, so please don't forget to thumbs up and like and subscribe and even share. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so July 19th is the day that I felt like water was kind of leaking from me, but it wasn't a gush. It was just little by little that whole day. So like around 8 o'clock, I told Emo when he came back home, I said, I think that I'm gonna have to go to the hospital because this is not normal. And he was like, oh, this is a prank, like your water didn't break. I'm like, I really think my water broke. And I was like, on top of that, before you got here, I called my doctor and she said, yeah, you might want to come in because that could be a slow leak. And you know, so when he came in, I told him that I need to go to the hospital. He was like, oh, you're pranking me, you think you're gonna prank me again? And I was like, this is really not a prank. Like, my water probably really did break. So he didn't believe me. I was like, alright, whatever, let me just go, because I didn't think, like, this is not my first child, like I said. So I didn't think by that was that serious. Something just told me, like, it was like 50% of me was like, Noella, go in, because like you might be having the baby. And Noella's like, this is like, water don't break like that. It's usually a big old gush, and it's a whole lot. It wasn't a whole lot. It was probably like my panties got wet. Like, you know, like my panties would get, you know, my panties got wet, but it's not like if I was sitting on the couch, the whole couch was wet. It wasn't like that. So I was like, maybe it's just discharge. Alright, so I went to the hospital. I went alone just because I didn't think like I would have been having the baby or anything like that. And plus, if push come to shove, I will call Emo and, you know, the kids, and like let them know that, okay, like, y'all need to come in because I'm about to have the baby. Alright, so I get to the doctor office. I get to triage like around 9:30, 10 o'clock maybe. And so once I get there, you know, they hook you up to the monitor to see the baby's heartbeat and baby's heart rate, and, you know, my blood pressure, and etc, etc. So everything was fine. So like the next 45 minutes, they was like, all right, we're gonna check you, you know, the baby seems okay, we're just gonna check you, and whatever. My blood pressure was stable. So they checked me, you know. She did that finger thing. She put my finger. She was like, alright, you're not any centimeters dilated or anything like that, so you don't have anything to worry about. I was like, okay. She was like, but I do want to do another test to see if your water also broke. So she, you know, that clamp that goes inside of a woman's vagina, you know, as a woman, you know, because you go to the gynecologist. So she inserted that thing, opened it wide. And she was like, Miss Nsende, from the looks of it, your water didn't break. You was just discharging. So I was like, alright, relief, because I kind of felt that it was discharged. But then in the way I was like, discharge should not be that much. Like, you know, when you see discharge, you see like a white spot or something like that. But I was like, I don't think discharge should be that much. So come to find out, I was discharged. So, and then after she did the test, she came back 15 minutes later. She was like, Miss Nsende, we're gonna, like, I wouldn't have let you go because your water didn't break and you and the baby seem fine. But she was like, I'm going to keep you in here for a little while longer just because the baby heart rate is going down. So I started to panic a little bit, and I was on the phone with my sister the whole time. I was on the phone with my sister and Emo. I'm going to call you back. Let me call my sister. I'm going to call you back. Let me call Emo. I'm going to call you back. Let me call my mom. So, you know, as I'm speaking to my sister and Emo and my mom, I was just a little worried. I'm like, because she was fine, you know, the baby was fine the whole time. What's wrong now? So I started to kind of panic myself. So like around 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'm gonna say 11:30, 11:45, the doctors came in, was like, Mrs. Nsende, we can't send you home. We're gonna take out the baby right now because her heart rate just keeps decreasing. So now I'm on the phone with my sister, and you know, I have called Emo. I'm like, Emo, I think they want to take the baby out right. They tell me that they're gonna take the baby out right now because the baby heart rate is decreasing. He's like, what's wrong? Like, you know, like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. They just told me that the baby heart rate is decreasing and she needs to come out. I didn't think it was that serious until 12 o'clock or 12:45 hit. Then I knew, like around 12:30 to 1 o'clock, I knew it was kind of serious, and I kind of started to panic because I'm like, okay, what's the matter with her? Like, what's wrong? And you know, I was on the phone with my sister. I was crying. She's like, don't cry. She's going to be fine. She's fine. Like, you know, stop crying. All right. So 1 o'clock happens to go around. They was like, all right, let's go. The doctors came. Matter of fact, around 12 o'clock. No, yeah, like around 12:30. Between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, the nurse came in. She was like, all right, Noella, we need to do a IV. And I'm like, all right. So I was like, do you think when you put the IV in, don't put the fluids in, let me just use the bathroom before you do that? She was like, matter of fact, just go ahead before I even put it in. I was like, okay. So as I'm talking to her and telling her like I have to use the bathroom and stuff, something weird, like I didn't feel a gush. I just felt all of a sudden the bed was just wet. Like I didn't feel myself peeing on myself. I didn't feel a big gush coming at me. I just I felt like somebody just was under the mattress and had a big needle and just was leaking water, because next thing you know it was just a puddle of water there, and I wasn't aware of what it was. So I'm like, all right, nothing for me to be like, you know, worried about. I'm like, let me just go use the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom, and as I'm in the bathroom, I squat everywhere I go. I do not sit on public bathrooms. So I'm squatting with my big old belly. And so once, you know, I move from the toilet to wipe myself, with, you know, because I wipe front to back. I'm wiping myself. Once I release the tissue from my Hello Kitty, just things like water just dropped on the floor. And I was like, no. I was like, all right. So I moved to another area in the bathroom and wiped again from front to back. And once I released the tissue from my tutu, another gush of water came out. I was like, get the fuck out of here. So I called the nurse that was nearby the bathroom, because I was in the triage area and there was a bathroom inside the triage. Well, duh, right? And so I called the nurse. She was like, I was like, I think my water broke. She was like, yeah, your nurse was just saying that right when you went into the bathroom, because when you got up, it was a puddle on the bed. I was like, okay. I'm like, so my water broke. Put the IV inside of me. They was like, all right, so now we're for sure that you're going to have the baby because your water broke, and plus the baby heart rate is, you know, it's still decreasing, and we're a little concerned about that. So she put the IV in, then they put a catheter in me because I was having a C-section. So I planned on vlogging everything. So when I was leaving out the hospital, which I will leave the video for that in the description box below. I was packing. I packed my camera, I packed the battery, I packed the charger and everything. And so being that Emo wasn't there because my hospital is in a different borough than where we live at, and being that it was like, once they put the catheter in, my nurse came to me because I was freaking out. So she just kept like consoling me and stuff while I was speaking to my sister, my mom, and Emo. And but then when it hit a certain time, I was like, I'm not gonna call my mom anymore. I'm gonna keep disturbing her. I'll just call her when my bundle of joy was here. And so they put the IV in, like I said, they put the catheter in, and my nurse came to me. She's like, all right, Miss Nsende, we have to go in. So it was like around 1:30 at this time. I'm like, there's no way that I can call my spouse, because like around 11, they was just still kind of monitoring me, but it was a 50% chance that I wasn't going to stay. And I just feel like, what's the point of me not staying and having my family, you know, having my family come out here at that time, you know, with, you know, Emo come out here at that time with, you know, Booby and Kaden, which mind you, they was already asleep. I just cared about taking the baby out. I wanted her to be fine. They will get here in a couple of hours in the morning and see the baby. I prefer for her to be okay than miss the birth. So then you know, them being here for the birth. I'd rather her to be, you know, out and safe. So so she, you know, came out. So I went into the operating room. So when my nurse came to me, it was like a whole bunch of doctors and a bed outside. I'm like, is that for me? She was like, yeah. She was like, they're gonna take the baby right now. So I'm like, I don't have time to call anybody for them to come. She's like, no, unfortunately we don't, because the baby heart rate is decreasing, and it's like it's really important that we take the baby out like right now. I was like, okay, you know, it is what it is. So so we go into the operating room. For some reason, like when I go into the operating room, I just get chills, and I only go to the operating room when I have my C-sections or whatever. And so I go into the operating room. I'm afraid of the epidural. Let's just get that out the way. I'm so afraid of the epidural because once they make you sign that consent. So you know, when you sign in that consent, it's not in their hands if you move and you get paralyzed to the waist down. So that's another reason why I wanted Emo to be there, because I wanted him to hold my hands. But the nurse that was so nice to me, she ended up consoling me and holding my hands and talking to me through the whole progress. She was the one who even vlogged the baby a little bit for me, you know, when she came out. So I finally did the epidural, even though I panicked on that table. I panicked when they was doing it. I was crying hysterical. I'm not talking about one of those cries like a tear come out. I was one of those kind of cries, snot and everything coming out. So, you know, so, you know, they did the epidural. Now I'm laying down there like, Mr. Nsende, you're not going to feel pain. You're not going to feel us cutting. You're just going to feel pressure. I'm like, okay, I've been through this before. Just get the baby out. So as I'm laying there, you know, they took the baby out. And once I heard the first cry, I was like, I was in love without even seeing her. Because, you know, when you have a C-section, they have that drape in front of you where you can't, you know, see. They said something about germs. Yeah, right. You just don't want me to get freaked out by seeing my stomach open. So when she came out, like, the way how I was laying on the operating table, which is normal, but the you know, with the bed that they go on to be measured and cleaned and stuff like that and weighed, it was like right here. So as I'm laying there, I'm just watching her, and I'm just like, all I can really see is her butt and her legs and stuff. But I was just like, she's so gorgeous. Just from that, I'm so happy that I, you know, didn't panic that much. Even though I did panic, I didn't panic that much where I didn't want to do it because Emo wasn't there or anything like, oh, my kids wasn't there or anything like that. So once, you know, they cleaned her up and everything, we went back into triage. So I held her literally the whole time. Mind you, I still have my catheter in, so I held her the whole time until they got us a room. So I'm just holding her, and the first person I called sorry, Emo, I called my sister. I called my sister. That's my eighth boon coon. I called my sister. I FaceTimed her, of course, so she could see the baby. And she was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute, whatever. I called Emo after that. But being that they was just like so sleepy, and where my sister was, it was a different time zone. So being that they was just so sleepy, I was like, I'm gonna let them sleep. But I did call him just to let him know that the baby is here and she's safe. You know, she's healthy, 10 fingers, 10 toes, she's fine. So he was like, alright, so I'm gonna call you in the morning when we're making our way to the hospital to come see me and the kids. I'm like, alright, fine. So like around, the baby was born at July 20th at 1:53 a.m. So we went into a room like about 2-3 o'clock. So, you know, that was my time for me to catch a little bit of sleep. Because once I have my newborn, I know they always say take advantage of the nursery. I don't. This is the first couple of hours of her life. I don't want her to be in the nursery. I want her to be with me. And so, you know, I spent time with her. So Emo and the kids, so this is you know, July 20th now. So Emo and the kids got there like around 10-11 o'clock. So I still have the catheter in, so they're just draining it. They're draining it like around 12 o'clock afternoon. They was like, Mrs. Cindy, your catheter just looks not right, so we're just gonna keep it in just to keep monitoring it. I'm like, okay. So I had the baby, which I think that day was a Thursday. Yeah, that day was a Thursday. Had the baby on a Thursday. I didn't leave the hospital. I left Sunday. And I think it was, so you know, Thursday they didn't want me to take no bath or shower or wash up or anything like that. Friday afternoon I was able to take my bath. So once I took my bath, the kids, you know, the kids in emo visited me again, and you know, this is when I'm able to vlog and stuff like that, even though I was in pain, walking funny because of my C-section. But you know, so I was able to take a shower and stuff, and they still had the catheter in. I had to maneuver with me washing up with the catheter in. So the reason why they kept the catheter in, because the urine was yellow. I mean, it was orange, sorry. The urine was like really orange, and it was a little bit. You know, usually when you have a C-section, for the mothers out there who had a C-section and had a catheter in, you know, like a couple of hours later, that bag is usually full, and you know, your urine looks, you know, yellow to clear or whatever. This was yellow, and it was like a couple of hours, like 6 to 7 hours, and it's just like this. It wasn't like no fluids was coming out of me. So they kept the IV in also, just because they was like, you don't have that much, you know, for some reason you're not outtaking that much fluid, so we have to input more fluid. So Saturday came, and they finally went to take the catheter out, and next thing, they took the catheter out, they took my IV out. No, they took the catheter out, but they left my IV in. So, you know, they was like, would you manage to go to the bathroom? I was like, yeah, I'll manage. But being that I retained so much water and it wasn't that much outtake, my feet was so swollen. It was ridiculous. Like, my feet was like, it was worse than me being pregnant and having swollen feet. It was worse. Like, my feet was so swollen. So Sunday, you know, Sunday I went home, my feet was still swollen. Even when I got home a couple of days after that, my feet were still swollen, but they said that it's going to get worse before it gets better. So a couple of days after that, I'm home, my feet is better. So I was like, you know, whatever, there's nothing that I could do about it. But you know, when I was breastfeeding and sitting down, I did elevate my feet. But being that they said that it was gonna go down, it was nothing for me to really worry about. And plus, this is not the first time that I have swollen feet. So I brought the baby home on Sunday. So tell them you see them later. Oh, say, and then another thing I want to say. Sorry, Auntie Jessie, that we couldn't make it to your graduation. Say sorry to Auntie Jessie. Mommy. Say sorry. Oh, Caden's coming. Mommy. Yes, Caden? Okay, I'm coming.